Welcome to another live watch along. Tonight we have LAFC versus Atlanta United, and we're doing another watch along for LAFC to see if they can move up in their journey to finish first place in the Western Conference. And we're also going to see tonight if Son Heung-min and Denis Bouanga are able to keep up their scoring streak, and if either one of them will be able to score a brace or a hat trick for the fifth game in a row. These two have scored 15 goals but combined in the last four matches. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what they're able to do. It should be exciting. All these watch longs have been exciting to me. I think you guys have enjoyed them as well. Guys, hope you guys are having a great Sunday night or Monday morning, depending on where you're watching from. Make sure you like the stream down below if you haven't already. Share with a friend. Let's grow the audience as much as we can. And also make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Pretty active chat so far. Harry says, I think Bouanga Son could score three, and it doesn't matter. But if Denis scores three, that might be enough to win the Golden Boot, seeing both him and Messi are missing during international window. Yeah, and that's another thing, too. I'm going to pull up the starting lineup real quick. Messi didn't score last night, so him and Denis Bouanga are tied still with 24 goals, if I'm not mistaken. 24 goals. And Messi is going to miss two matches. Denis Bouanga is going to miss two matches. If Denis Bouanga scores a brace, or, I'd say if he at least scores a brace tonight, I think it's over. I think he's going to win the Golden Boot pretty easily if he scores tonight. So it looks like, okay. So Moran is not starting tonight. It looks like it's going to be Hollingshead in for Smoliakov. Segura, Tafari, and Porteous back as the three center backs. Palencia on the right side. Chouanier and Delgado. I don't like Tillman starting. That's a little interesting. I'll be curious to see if they have Tillman play in the midfield or if they'll have him play on the right side of Son Heung-min. Well, that'll be interesting to see. But I'm really surprised that Moran, unless he's injured or something, I don't think he is. Is he on the bench? Let's see. Yeah, he's on the bench. I'm very surprised to see that Moran is not starting tonight. I thought he had a really good match last game, and I thought he had cemented himself as a starter. So I'm interested to see how this lineup works. And Atlanta United hasn't been very good this year, so we'll see what they can do. They've really disappointed. Atlanta United, if you guys don't know this, spent the most money of any MLS team in the last calendar year. They've spent over $50-60 million. And they've been terrible. So we'll see what they can do against them. Harry says, also either Vegas updated odds and or there just must be new money came in because hat trick odds are now plus 450 and plus 510 for Son Heung-min and Denis Bouanga. That's interesting. D1% says Son will make sure Denis Bouanga gets the Golden Boot. I think there's a good chance. Mr. My friend says, hi, Will. Appreciate it. William Mara, friend, says, hi, Will. Good evening, bro. Angus, member of the channel, says Bouanga will do so. Ham says can't wait. Mr. says, let's be honest, if Atlanta don't show up, it could be a hat trick each. Listen, I think that realistically could happen. I think that these two guys could score a hat trick each in a game. I think that definitely could happen. Will it happen? I don't know. Could it happen? 100%. 100%. Harry says Atlanta looks like they set up five in the back, so they're going to be very defensive heavy for sure. Rhino says, let's go Sowanga. That actually has a ring to it, Sowanga. I might start using that. Keyshawn says, how can Latte Lot fall off so bad? Here's the thing. I don't think he fell off. I just don't think he was ever good. His best season he ever had was like 14 goals in the championship, and Atlanta United were just dying to pay $30 million for him for some reason. I don't really understand that, but we'll see what happens, and good luck to him. I mean, they wasted a lot of money on him. Trust says people are so sure for hat tricks now. That's the thing, though. This is the best team in Major League Soccer. Okay, Harry. So Denis does have one less goal. So Denis is one goal behind Messi in the Golden Boot race. But I still think that if he can get a brace tonight, I mean, you don't ever want to discount Messi, and they're both going to be missing the same amount of games for international duty. But I do think that if Denis Bouanga can get a brace tonight, and Son Heung-min is going to do everything he possibly can to make sure that happens, then I think the race is over. I think it's over. Ham says, what was the MLS game record for most goals scored in a game? Can we hope for 6 goals or more? I mean, there's been 7 goals before in a game. That was 7 this year. Vancouver versus the Philadelphia Union. I think 7's the most goals ever scored by a team. Let me see real quick. I don't think 8's ever been scored. I could be wrong. What's most goals in an MLS game by one team? I'm going to look that up real quick. Let's see. Okay, 8. So the most goals scored in a game ever was 8 by the LA Galaxy in 1998. But there's been a couple 7-goal games. There's been 5 7-goal games, actually 6 including this year. But 8 goals is the most ever scored in a match in MLS history. But with these two guys, it definitely could happen because of what they do in the attack and how vulnerable MLS defenses are. Tillman will probably be in the midfield. Sony and Bouanga up top. Yeah, probably. I would say there's a good chance. Abhishek says if he scores a hat trick or a brace today as well, MVP winner locked. Yeah, I do think that Denis Bouanga is in the discussion to win MVP now. I think he's up there, especially if they finish first place in the Western Conference. Because since Inter Miami weren't able to win the Supporter Shield, I do think that hurts Messi's chances of winning the MVP. I do think it hurts his chances to win the MVP since they didn't win the Supporter Shield because the season doesn't look as good now. There's a couple guys that are in the contention for the MVP. We'll just have to see how it plays out. We'll have to see how the season pans out, what the score lines or the stat lines look like. But there's a lot of people that are in contention for it. Mr. says, don't forget they wasted nearly $30 million on Latte Lot. And look, man, you've been a part of this forever, Mr. You know, we both were on that saying that they shouldn't sign him for that. I mean, that was just a waste of money. Waste of money. Honey Bear says Sonanga. I've heard Sonanga and Suwanga. Both are good, though. Ashkan says, hi, Will and chat. Ashkan, appreciate you for joining by tonight or stopping by. Ham says it's time to break records. Next year, they're definitely breaking records. This year, we'll see what happens. I do think, and let's get the score line or the predictions because we got 10 minutes until kickoff. We know that they always are late for kickoff. It's going to probably be 10 minutes away. What is your score prediction for tonight? Ashkin says, I'll watch Vancouver Whitecaps crush San Jose. Muller scored from the outside box and Berhalter scored a screamer. Yeah, Vancouver scares me a little bit. Vancouver is a very, very good team right now in MLS. Nobody should take them lightly. They are a very, very good team in Major League Soccer right now. Arguably could be the best team. Arguably could be the best team in MLS. But what is your score prediction tonight for LAFC versus Atlanta United? What is your score prediction? And do you think Son Heung-min or Denis Bouanga will score a brace in this game or a hat trick? I think both of them will probably score, but will either one of them score a brace or a hat trick again? Ham says it'll be 6-0. Keyshawn says 3-1. Fort Ambo says it will be 3-1 LAFC. Camping says 5-0 LAFC. Keyshawn says might even be 4-1. Tommy says it's going to be, or either Tom or Tommy, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. It says 5-1, and Angus says 4-1 LAFC. Angus says that. Jason says it's going to be LAFC 2, Atlanta 1. You know, it's funny. I knew what a lot of there's the Son Heung-min fans there with their jerseys, and you see the Step Brothers shirt, which is funny. But you can see that there's a lot of buzz, and it's so funny that you guys, a lot of you didn't even say LAFC. You just gave a score line, but I know who you're talking about. You're talking about LAFC winning this match. So that just shows you how confident and how good this team is. That people don't even have to mention the team directly, and I know what they mean. Mr. says, yep, like we said at the time, $30 million in MLS. He needed to hit the ground running and get 20 goals every season he is in Atlanta, maybe even 25 or 30. Honestly, because we've seen better production for lower cost. Harry says he thinks it's going to be 3-1 LA. Is this Grecia? Hello, appreciate you for stopping by. Keyshawn says Guzan isn't starting. Yeah, that could be a red flag. I mean, not that Guzan's been good this year anyway, but Mr. says go on. I'll go 4-1. Son and Bouanga, 2 goals each. Is Bouanga better than Son in 2025? No, I don't think. I don't think Sonny is. By the way, can you tell? I mean, this is a Sunday night soccer, but if you could, if you remember, they had Taylor Twellman and Jake Ziven doing all the Inter Miami matches when Messi came here. Now they have them doing LAFC matches because this is the most exciting team in MLS. So that's why there's so many people that are. That's why that they have their what you would consider their A tier or their S tier, their top broadcasting commentators on this game, which is interesting to see. But also they're the best team to watch. They're very fun to watch right now. BM says he thinks it's gonna be 3-0 LAFC. Jason says 2-2. Rhino says, I'd rather we keep a clean sheet. Well, Hugo Lloris is playing tonight, which is a good sign. He took that knee in the who was it they played last time? I'm trying to remember. Sorry, there's been so many games in between. I'm trying to remember who they played last match. LAFC. I think it was on the road. It was St. Louis City. That's who it was. St. Louis City. Yeah, he took that knee in the chest, and I honestly thought there was a chance he might be hurt and not be able to play. By the way, Tillman is playing in the midfield. They do have him listed in the midfield. He's going to be playing in front of Schwanier's playing more as a defensive midfielder, Delgado and Tillman in front of him, and then Son Heung-min and Denis Bouanga in front of those two. So we'll see what happens. But I am a little, like I said earlier, I'm a little surprised that Moran is not starting in this match because he's pretty good. He was really, really good. Gracia says, hello from Bolivia. Appreciate you for joining in. Diogo says he thinks it's going to be 3-1. I'm assuming LAFC. Angus says, I was at the St. Louis City LAFC match. I have never seen Energizer Park so packed. Plus, there were a lot of Korean fans there. Yeah, I mean, that's they travel very well, and they're very excited to watch their captain and their best player of all time. Camping says Sony effect is everywhere. St. Louis, my bad. Sung Bin used to be on Minnesota. Yeah, Sung Bin was the one who fouled Hugo Lloris. And that's why I thought, I mean, it looked pretty bad. You got to consider Hugo Lloris is almost 40 years old, and getting kneed in the chest could be something that could cause a lingering issue or something that could cause him to miss some games. But one of the players that I think you need to watch out for Atlanta United tonight is Miguel Almiron. He's a legend for the team. He's their first designated player they've ever seen or signed, excuse me. And he got brought back this offseason for a $12 to $13 million fee, and he's been very disappointing in his return. He hasn't been nearly as good as he was when he played for Atlanta United the first stint. But that's a player that they need to keep an eye on and see what he does for LAFC tonight, because he is pretty good, even if he hasn't been as good this year. In my prediction, because I haven't given mine yet, I think LAFC continue their scoring streak. I think they're going to score. I think they'll score 5 goals tonight. I think it's going to be 5-1. I don't think they're going to give. I don't think they'll have a clean sheet, just because I think that Atlanta will probably sneak one in. I think it's going to be 5-1. Atlanta United or LAFC over Atlanta United. And I actually think something crazy could happen. I think that either Son or Denis Bouanga could have 4 goals tonight. I think one of them are going to completely eat tonight. And I don't think they're going to force Denis Bouanga the ball, because they don't want to do that and cause the attack to be stagnant or not work as well as it normally has. But I do think that they're going to be smart about how they try to set him up and help him get this golden boot. Ham says, I'm hoping someone other than the duo would score some today. Yeah, and that's the crazy thing. They're, in the last 4 games, they have 15 goals, and they're the only 2 that scored. Ham says they are relying on Son and Bouanga too much. This, of course, would be on top of attacks from the duo. Eric says, do you watch the Premier League by any chance? I do. I do watch the Premier League as much as I can. I try to catch as many games as I can. I don't have a team in the Premier League, though. I'm just a casual enjoyer. My team is Barcelona. And by the way, it says it's 4 minutes away from kickoff. 4 minutes away from kickoff, so it's even a little bit more delayed than normal. Ashkin says, I recall Miguel Miron playing for Newcastle as a starter. He did play as a starter. He played on the right side. He played there from 2019 until 2025. He was pretty decent. Like he had one really good year and he had a couple okay years, but I don't know overall what they would classify his stint at Newcastle, but he wasn't bad. Harry says someone else will have to score if LAFC wants to win the games during international window. Yeah, that's another thing too. If you'll notice, the title says race to first place, and LAFC have a very good chance of still finishing first place in the Western Conference. They just have to. Well, actually, let me look at that real quick because that's interesting. Nick and I will do some. We'll look at the standings too after this game because we're going to do a post game recap as well, like we normally do. But Vancouver is going to be, if LAFC can win their next two matches, Vancouver will be 1 point ahead of LAFC. So LAFC are still very much in this race. LAFC have to win this game, and they have to win their two games when Son Heung-min and Denis Bouanga are out for international duty if they want to have any chance of finishing first place in the Western Conference. So we'll see if they're able to do that. The backups aren't very good. I mean, we just talked about this. LAFC haven't had another player on the pitch score for them other than these two when these guys are playing, and they have all these opportunities. So I'm a little nervous to see what they're going to be able to do when they're gone. I think the attack is really going to take a big hit. It's not going to be nearly as effective as what we've seen, obviously, because their two best players are missing. But I want to ask you this. Other than Son Heung-min and Denis Bouanga, who do you think is the most likely person to score today if it's not one of these two? Who is the most likely person to score for LAFC tonight if not Denis Bouanga and Son Heung-min? Mr. Mister says, I don't think they really care which one scores. They just enjoy playing together. I'm telling you, the bromance is what we call it. The bromance between Son Heung-min and Denis Bouanga is really special. And they genuinely like each other. They're selfless players. And I think that their sky's the limit between these two. And I wouldn't want to play them in the playoffs. I would not want to play them in the playoffs. Let's see. Locke says Jovic has 18 goals. That's a crazy amount for an SKC player. That is a crazy amount for an SKC player. And I was a little skeptical about him leaving the Galaxy because I thought the service last year was really a big part of his production. But he's proven me wrong. He's been very good for Sporting Kansas City. Ham says hope Son stays with LAFC for at least 3 years. I think that Son Heung-min will probably retire with LAFC. I think he's having a lot of fun. A lot of people were pointing out to the fact that he's posting a lot of pictures about his personal life, which I think they're saying he didn't really do that much in Tottenham. He's smiling. London is, an interesting city, but LA is just different. Jason says, do you think LAFC need to sell the match to casinos? Sell the match to casinos. Ham says LAFC wouldn't kick him out when he's past his prime, right? No, I don't think so. I think he'll play as long as he wants to play. Camping says, I don't think it matters where they finish in the standings. Sonny and Bouanga will be unstoppable in the playoffs. Well, another thing though that's important for them to finish higher is that they just have first of all, they'll have a home field advantage through the playoffs, but also depending on how the Eastern Conference shakes out, like who finishes at the end of the season or in the playoffs, who wins in the East, LAFC could host the MLS Cup final depending on who they would face. So I think that they want to do that as well because they want to host the MLS Cup final at LAFC or BMO Field. Mr. Mister says it's one of those things I don't like about MLS during international breaks. Take the week off like everyone else does. You know what's crazy too is they're going to I'm pretty sure there's more friendlies in November, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that, Mr. Mister, but I think there's friendlies in November as well. They're going to pause the playoffs for the friendlies, which I think is bad because it just hurts all the momentum that you've built for the playoffs. So I have no idea why you would do that. But I think they're going to do that. We'll see. Maybe they won't, but I think that's going to happen. Ashkin says the dude with the afro has scored before. Oh, you're talking about David Martinez? No, David Martinez has definitely scored. He just hadn't scored. Nobody scored in the first 4 games, but he's not even playing tonight. Harry says Chouanier or Delgado will score tonight, if not for Denis Bouanga and Son Heung-min. By the way, we're about to kick off. Finally. 12 minutes past kickoff time. Denis Bouanga and Son Heung-min in the middle of the field to kick it off. LAFC versus Atlanta United is officially underway. Sunday night soccer and MLS. Let's see who wins. Hugo Lloris has got the ball. Gracia says, I bet LAFC. Will I win? Maybe. We'll see. I mean, I wouldn't bet against them right now. Ryan Hollingshead has the ball. Crosses it. Kind of a wide cross. Goes out of bounds for a goal kick for Atlanta United. Camping says, I lived in the UK for a year, loved it, but the weather was so miserable. Was super happy to get back to the sunny weather. I can't disagree with that, my friend. Mr. says the only way Son doesn't retire in LA is if he wants to play in the K League for a year at age 37 or 38. Yeah, I mean, he's 33 years old. I expect him to be in MLS for at least 4 years. I think he'll be here for like 4 more years. 4 more seasons. Miranchuk. We'll see what happens. See how motivated LAFC are to win this too, because like this is the last game that Denis Bouanga and Son Heung-min are going to be playing until decision day, which is October 18th. So neither one of these players will make an appearance for LAFC until October 18th. So this is a big game for both of them, especially we talked about the Golden Boot race. Safari plays it over to Segura. They're pressing pretty hard right now, Atlanta United. Bad turnover. They're able to win it back. Oh, God, Tillman just got fouled so hard. No call. D'Anthony says, will Son get at least 1 goal? I think he does. I think he does. Police Your Fan says Tottenham can use the South Korean that South Korean from LAFC in January, right? I was talking to my Tottenham friend earlier, and they were saying that they needed him. They missed him. Mr. says, yeah, there's an international break in November. Another reason the schedule change. 100%. But hey, it's right around the corner. 2027, the schedule change will happen. So we're getting close. David Day says MLS Cup equals LAFC versus Miami should be at SoFi Stadium, 75,000 people. I don't think Miami's going to make it. Denis Bouanga. I'm interested to see Ryan Hollingshead too, because Smolyakov was the worst player for LAFC last game. It wasn't even close. He was by far the worst player for LAFC in that last match. He was terrible. He made too many errors, bad passes. He just was not on the same page with his teammates. But Ryan Hollingshead, sporadically, he can't be the full-time starter, but I'm going to be curious to see how he does on that left side. Segura. Playing conservative so far, nothing crazy. Atlanta's coming out of the gate pressing. Delgado. Palencia. Porches to Chouanier. Back to Tafari. It's pretty congested right now. Nothing, no lanes really open. Oh, there's Denny. Or is it Tillman? No, it's Tillman. No call. Oh, Porches with the steal. Pass it to Delgado. Sony floating in the middle. Madon says match will be a tie. I don't think. I'd be surprised. Jay Shawnee says the miles on his legs won't let him last 4 years. I'm just hoping he makes it to the World Cup at 80%. I think he'll definitely play. Oh, really? They called a foul? I think Ryan Hollingshead fouled him. I'm just hoping he makes the World Cup at 80% in his prime. He can retire with a. That's funny. No, I think he's good, man. I think he ages well. I think he's too skilled to really be bad or not play a while. He's just way too skilled. Even if his speed is gone, he's still good. But that's the thing. I don't think his speed's gone. I think he's still quick. We've seen it. I think he will age gracefully like Messi has for Inter Miami, where he could be a playmaker if he has to be. He can still score goals. I think he's going to last for a long time. Arling Hong said, Denis Bouanga, good defending by Atlanta. Takeaway. D'Anthony says, who's the top scorer in LAFC? It's Denis Bouanga, 23 goals this season. Ham says, why are so many referees bald? I don't know. That's a good question. Camping says, I thought Smolyakov was decent last match. He was bad. Oh, Denny? Oh, just wide left. Plus, there's an inexperienced goalkeeper, 21-year-old goalkeeper. They should feast. He didn't get a good hit on it. Wide left. Mr. Mister says Hollingshead isn't anything special left back, but he'll work hard. Always good to have a guy like that. But I know this sounds funny to say, but he's like consistently average, right? He doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He's pretty reliable. He's not, like you said, he's not special, but he's reliable. Whereas Smolyakov might be more special. He just makes a lot of mistakes. Sonny, Tillman. Look, beautiful pass to Bouanga. Bouanga gets to it. Oh, Gregerson with good defending. Gregerson with a good defending there. It's going to be a goal kick. That was a good pass by Tillman. Good defending by Gregerson, though. Zen says refs are bald because they didn't use Rogaine. Bobby says it's very annoying that international breaks happen when MLS games are still going on. MLS teams get punished for having good players. Well, that's going to change soon. So that's a good thing. It's going to change soon. Teams won't have to worry about losing their best players. Almiron. LAFC should have hijacked Sergio Regalian from Miami. I think he's going to Miami for sure. I think he's definitely going to Miami for sure. But I did wonder how Sony felt about him, like playing it at Tottenham. You know, because he was really highly touted until he just kept getting injured. Mr. Mister says, yeah, you'll always get a 6 or 7 out of a 10 performance from Hollingshead. Yeah, and you know, Smolyakov can give you a 4 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10, but you just never know. So consistency is good. You know, sometimes that's not bad. Bad giveaway. Hollingshead with the ball to Denny, passes it back to Hollingshead, but he loses possession. Atlanta gets the ball back. If they sign him, will Alba play on the left wing? I don't think he will. I just, you know, I don't think so. There's been rumors about Jordi Alba wanting to go back to does anybody get that? Nope, out of bounds for a goal kick. I just don't think I don't think you want him playing left wing at 37 years old. And there's been rumors about him wanting to go back to Spain. So we'll just have to see what happens. Guys, we're at 49 likes. Let's try to get to 100 likes. We always hit 100 likes on our live watch alongs. Let's try to hit 100 likes. Make sure you like the stream down below if you haven't already. Share with a friend. Let's grow the audience as much as we can. We got a big game tonight to see who's going to win the Golden Boot race in Major League Soccer, and also if LAFC can make it to the top of the Western Conference and be in first place. So make sure you share with a friend. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We got the best MLS content, the best live watch-alongs from the biggest MLS content creator. Thanks to you guys. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Harry says, Regalian was decent left wing back, but he's not known for his defense. So not sure why Miami need another left back. I think it's because he hasn't signed with anybody and they think they can get him on a good deal. and he's only 28 years old. I think he'll be 29 in December. So I think it's more of the bargain of getting him his quality, and then having him come here at the age he is. He's still relatively young, not super young. Delgado, bad pass, one back by Atlanta. Almiron, good defending by LAFC as a handball. Wow. No call from the ref. That was a handball for sure. Sergio is perfect for this system. Oh, yeah, for sure. This system for sure. Keyshawn says, who are the 5 best coaches in MLS? Are there 5 good ones? No, there's Wilfred Nazi's good. I think that I think Bradley Carnell is really good. I think Jesper Sorensen's very good. I don't know particular order, but he's very good. Mikey Veras has been very good for San Diego FC. And then, oh man, who would I have as my 5th? I mean, there's a lot of mediocre coaches in Major League Soccer. If we're being honest, there's a lot of mediocre coaches. Mr. says best change Miami can make is Mascherano. I think that's going to happen. Tillman out wide to Palencia. Tillman to Sonny. Back to Tillman. Chouanier to Delgado. Segura. Oh, Sonny fouled. Free kick, LAFC. Yeah, BJ Callahan's also very good. Camping says Sergio is a real guy. Not sure he'll be welcomed by the Barca boys. Yeah, it's interesting, but some of the Barca boys are leaving. Ham says Atlanta playing really good so far. They are playing pretty good. But honestly, Ham, is Atlanta playing really good, or is LAFC just not playing as good? Are they playing bad? They scored their 2 goals, not the St. Louis game, but the previous match. I'm trying to remember. I don't think it was RSL, but maybe it was. They didn't score their 2 goals until the end of the first half. This attack is just one of those attacks that can kind of turn it on any second. But so far, I don't think they've looked as dangerous as you would like. Denis Bouanga did have that one chance, and he went wide left. And then that was just good defending by Gregerson. Oh, just wide left. Free kick by Denis Bouanga. Surprised they let Sonny take that. Sonny should have probably taken that free kick. Just wide left. Police your fences. If man like Almiron scores, that's unforgivable. Hey, Almiron he's actually not been good this year for Atlanta, so that would be pretty bad. But guys, listen, I'm telling you, most of you guys watch LAFC. I just don't think this attack looks nearly as good without Moran in the middle. Like, Tillman isn't bad, but he's just not Moran. I mean, this is a guy they brought in here to try to help open up the attack, create chances. He's only 21 years old, so I have no idea why he's on the bench, but I can definitely tell a difference with him on the sidelines instead of playing in this match. Not really sure what's going on there, but maybe maybe they'll bring him on in the second half. Ashcan says Busquets for Inter Miami will be retiring at the end of the season. He played well and created a lot of memories for the club. He did definitely make a lot of memories with the team. They're hoping that they can finish it with an MLS Cup, but I just don't think that's going to happen. His legs are gone too. Sergio Busquets, his legs are definitely gone. Tomei says, what about Minnesota's coach, Ramsey? Yeah, he's good. He is good. He probably won't be here much longer. I heard he wanted to go back to Europe, but we'll see. We'll see. Bobby says, who's a realistic manager replacement you could see Miami doing if Mascherano gets sacked after the season? I'm thinking that they're going to hire Xavi Hernandez. I think that a reason why they didn't hire him this last time was because he was too expensive. Sonny making a run, wasn't able to get to it. Atlanta's doing a good job of. Oh, that was almost a bad giveaway. Goalkeeper had to clear it. Out of bounds for a throw in. Unless Porches can save it, he can. Keeps it in play. Chouanier to Segura. He's got Hollingshead wide down the flank. Passes it to him. To Sonny. Gregerson is having a game. Number 5 has been the best player on the pitch so far, in my opinion. Number 5 for Atlanta United, Gregerson. He's been incredible so far in this match. Incredible. Zen says, did you see Atlanta nearly make a comeback against the Columbus Crew? I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't watched a lot of Atlanta United games this year because, except in the beginning, because they've just been so disappointing. It's hard to watch them because they just have not met expectations of how good they were supposed to be. Ham says they're giving Bouanga chances for goals over Son. Ooh, Miranchuk. To Miguel. Maxwell says, when is someone going to score? I don't know. We'll see if anybody scores. I think things will open up as the game goes on, but right now it's kind of a stalemate so far. Mr. says Miami will come up against someone who attacks with pace in the playoffs and they'll get torn apart again. I have zero faith. I have zero faith that they're going to advance far in the MLS Cup playoffs. Eric says, are you an LAFC fan? I'm not a fan of any team in MLS. I just cover the league. I guess you could say I'm a fan of the league, but I'm not a fan of any particular team. I just want the league to grow and I want to watch good football, good soccer. And LAFC are a big deal. They play great soccer. They're very fun to watch. And I'm having a blast covering this first season with Son Heung-min. Bobby says, why is Latte Lot on the bench? Didn't they buy him for around $20 million this season? They bought him for around almost $30 million. And he's been a complete bust. I wouldn't be surprised to see him if, depending on what they do at the managerial spot, if they fire Dyla or they keep him, they might try to loan him out. Ham says, you still got to have a favorite. I swear I don't have a favorite. I don't have a favorite. Oh, Denny. Gregerson with a great hit away, but Denny's able to win it back. Pass to Sonny. Oh, good block by Sleece. Good Lord. Gregerson is having a hell of a game. Levive says, hi, everyone. Appreciate you for stopping by, my friend. Crystal says, it's football, guys. The entire world calls it football. I did say football first, didn't I? Campy says, Sonny hasn't had many shots the last few games, but he's been efficient. Was that onside? I guess it was. But look at that defending by Gregerson. Was that Sleece who I think had the block? No, it wasn't Sleece. It was someone else. Keyshawn says he's an Asheville. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Mr. said, it's funny LA haven't scored on first 15 minutes and everyone's wondering what's going on. Yeah, that is funny, right? That's what they expect. They just expect goals, goals, goals. I do, like I said, though, I think things are going to open up as the game goes on. Angus says, in the United States, we call it soccer for clarification reasons. I would be explaining too much. Exactly. And plus, I don't want to say American football every time because I am American, so I don't need to say American football. Tiki Taka says it's Chuseok Korean Thanksgiving in Korea. Go Sony. Whole Koreans are watching. Thank you for the comment, Tiki Taka. I appreciate that, and happy holidays to everyone who's watching from Korea. I'm sorry so is it Chuseok? Or I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Place Your Fan says those balls over the top has to be a little bit better for LAFC. Agree with that. David says, will you think there will be over 1.5 goals in the first half? I'm not sure. I mean, I think that could happen. LAFC have shown that they can score at any moment. They're kind of like Miami when Miami was really good in that sense, that they can just turn it on and score 2 goals in 10 minutes if they have to. Eric says they ran out of goals in the last 4 games. Maybe so, but I think Oh, Sony, is he hurt? He looked like he was hobbling a little bit, but he looks good now. Oof. Yeah, Atlanta United are playing pretty well so far. But are they gonna be able to hold up? God, Tafari just tackled that guy. Oh no, they guess they didn't call it a foul. Camping, you'll have to tell me how to pronounce the last part. It's Mary? Is it Chuseok? I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Madan says match looks boring. Might be a nil-nil tie. Nah, they're not gonna. It's not gonna be nil-nil. They'll definitely score. Denis Bouanga is playing pretty deep right now. Pass to Sony. Sony. Oh, good save. Denny with the rebound, but it's saved by the Atlanta goalkeeper. Was Sony offside? Yeah, I think he was offside. He was offside. Wonder if they're going to make any second half adjustments or substitutions. Atlanta's looking good though. Atlanta's looking pretty good so far. 21 minutes in. 21 minutes in, and they've done a good job of neutralizing LAFC so far, eliminating their attacking options. Oh, was that a handball? Camping says I'm from the States, but I live in Korea, currently in Poland. Oh, interesting. Bobby says, who do you think will end up having a better MLS career, Messi or Son? Oh man. You know, at this point, I do think Sony has a better chance at winning the MLS trophy, the MLS Cup. I do think he has a better chance at winning it in his career than Messi does, because the coaching is just so they just Inter Miami's not getting it right. LAFC are going to sign the best players to build the best team. Inter Miami is just interested in signing Messi's friends. So that's why I think their team is going to be better. Now, I'm going to be curious to see. It sounds like Chuseok. Okay, so I think I did say it right the first time. So Chuseok. Okay, cool. So I think I did pronounce that right the first time. Was Denny able to win it? Oof. Mister says there are countries that call it soccer. Australia, for example, Aussie rules is their footy. So a lot of them just call it football, just call football soccer. Yeah, you know, it's funny. I saw that I think that even the UK called it soccer first, if I'm not mistaken, and then changed it to football. But at this point, I mean, I don't think it's disrespect. I mean, people know what we're talking about, right? Soccer, football. You know, I think they know. Michael Pelly says boring Dolo ball so far. The Dolo special. The Dolo special. But you know, that's the thing. It's like they can't just rely on the two guys to only score. Other guys are gonna have to step up. Delgado with the throw in. Segura. 23 minutes in. 0-0 still. Denis Bouanga. Oof. Gonna be a throw in for is it a throw in for Atlanta? No, it's gonna be a throw in for LAFC, I think. Chouanier to Porteous. Puts it out to Palencia. Plays it back to Chouanier. Delgado. Weak pass to Denis Bouanga. Atlanta's able to take it back. Steal it. Schlese. Almiron. Good defending by Segura. Wins it. Oh my God. My game's like lagging a little bit. Bobby says, outside of Son and Bouanga and Lloris, who are good players at LAFC? I mean, I think that Porches is pretty good. I think Segura is not bad. Smolikov has potential. David Martinez had potential, but he just kind of, disappointed. Oh, the bounce. Jaden Hibbert with a good save. Was that a win in? Sony with the corner. Pass to Denny. Back to Sony. Delgado. I like how Sony and Denny are wearing the same boots now. They're wearing the same exact cleats. I think Palencia is too. Yeah, all three of them have the same exact cleats on. Cross. Hibbert able to save it. Locke says Atlanta has very short distance between their striker and defensive line. Don't know what's that called when sitting in the defensive formation. I mean, they are playing. They're not parking the bus yet or anything, but they're playing very defensive oriented, and they are definitely frustrating LAFC. But they're going to be able to play like this all 90 minutes. Jay Shawnee says moron. Moran. I always say moron. Moran is pretty good. Yeah, he is good. He should be playing right now. I think Schwanier's decent too. Mr. Soccer was that upper was what the upper and upper middle class called it. I've never had a problem with it. It's just what you call it. Yeah, exactly. Tiki Taka says, I don't know much about MLS. I'm one of Sony's fans to watch his games from EPL watchers. Yeah, I would assume a lot of the Korean Sony fans will probably be way more familiar with MLS by next year. Oh, Sony able to come down with it. Passes out wide to Hollingshead. Hollingshead passes it to Segura to Denny. Bouanga. Oh, good save. Palencia, another good save. Jeez. Cleared out for a LAFC corner. LAFC are starting to put pressure on Atlanta now. We'll see. I think a goal is coming. Oh, did someone score? Oh, do you know it? Did they score? I feel like it is coming. I feel like the goal is coming. Oh, Sonny fouled. They don't call that? Uh-oh. Is that Miranchuk? Miranchuk? Don't be a troll. There was one guy who normally does the watch longs with us. He's always ahead of us somehow, and he always tells us when there's a goal. 28 minutes in, 0-0, LAFC versus Atlanta United. Yeah, I think he's trolling. I'm trying to remember who it is. I think Harry, aren't you the one that always tells us the goal? I think Harry's the one. I think you're the one that always tells us when a goal comes. Normally. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was you. Ashkane says that was yeah, exactly. Angus says it's hard to imagine how much Atlanta has fallen their first 3 or 4 years. They were a force to be reckoned with. 100%. Carson says got this fired up while playing League. Oh, League of Legends? Interesting. I was playing League of Legends last night. Ryan Hollingshead out of bounds for a corner. There's Emmanuel Latte Lot, the bust. Biggest bust in MLS history on the bench for Atlanta United. $25 to $30 million for the striker, and he only has 5 or 6 goals this season. Absolute bust. Fort Ambo says, "Quit with the trolls, man. Don't allow them." Oh, Tafari heads it, but it goes out of bounds for a goal kick for Atlanta United. Almost 30 minutes in, 0-0 LAFC over Atlanta United. Well, it's tied. It's 0-0 Atlanta United versus LAFC. But like I said, remember there was a game a couple matches ago where LAFC looked like they weren't doing anything and they weren't creating anything, and they scored 2 goals. And I think it was added time. They scored 2 goals. It was like the 45th minute. Oh, that was close. Hibbert got rid of it just last second. Sonny was right on him with that. Palencia with the ball. Palencia Tillman back to Palencia. God, Denny was wide open on the flank. Palencia just didn't have his head up. He didn't see him. Tillman to Segura. I gotta put you in timeout, man. You're driving me crazy. Segura. Borges. Fort Ambo says, instead of LAFC versus Atlanta, how about KFC versus Popeyes? That's not even close, man. Popeyes is way better. Oh, keeps in play. Palencia did. Atlanta's got the ball, though. Oh, Denny. Oh, good play. Oh, good defending by Gregerson. Oh, is that not? It's not Gregerson. That's funny. Mason says, "LA, come on, score each half. How are they looking? They're not looking too good right now, but it could just change at any moment. Like Atlanta's doing a really good job. God, Almiron gave a crazy shoulder on Denis Bouanga. He fouled him pretty hard. "32 minutes in. Palencia with the throw in. It just takes one." I think it says Locus that says LA are playing fine, but in situations, the defense side is playing in a nice defensive shape. Atlanta were all over the place earlier this season, but now playing well as a team. They have improved. I think they have improved. They're still not going to make they still got eliminated from the playoffs and haven't been good enough. But I guess they are trending in the right direction down the stretch. Mister says, it just feels like LA are in control so far. They've done everything but score. Yeah, I think they were struggling earlier. That's a lot of space right there on the wide side. A lot of space. Cross, way too high. Way too high. Good header by Porches. It did feel like there was a time where they were just the goal was inevitable, Mister. It looked like the LAFC were threatening and putting a lot of pressure on Atlanta's defense, but Atlanta's reset a little bit. Jay Shine says the refs are pay to play. Hopefully Atlanta doesn't score first because it could kill this game. We'll see it's still there's still a lot of time left. Yeah, Atlanta United only have 1 win in 15 matches in 15 away matches in 2025. 1 win in 15 away matches in 2025. Atlanta United. Oh, Palencia putting some pressure on Almiron. Camping says they need promotion relegation for the refs like they have in the EPL. Do they actually have a pro rel for refs? Really? Tiki Taka says, I know someone who have KFC chickens all the time. He never missed a day. Interesting. I'll say this too: if LAFC if they get a draw or a loss tonight, it pretty much ends their chances of finishing first place in the Western Conference. They really need to get the 3 points tonight. LAFC really need to get 3 points tonight if they want to finish first in the West. Oh, bad giveaway. Sonny. Oh, he was looking for Denny, but the pass was a little short. Not enough on it. Able to win it back. Oh, Palencius got fouled so hard. Jeez. Who fouled him? Was that Miguel Miron again? Yeah, Miron's been chippy tonight. Super chippy. Looks like Gregerson got fouled by Hollingshead. Yeah, Almiron just stepped on his boot. Yeah, that's did he get a yellow for that? Danger zone right here. Looks like Sony's going to take this. All right, Sonny lining over the free kick. Ulea says they are trying very hard to get Denis to score. And I don't understand why Moran isn't starting in this game. I agree. I don't know why he's not either. He was very good in the last match. That's a if they drop points tonight, it's because they didn't start him. And I do think they're trying to feed Denis too much. They need to just need to score at all costs. It don't matter who's scoring. Just try to don't force feed anybody. Sonny. Oh, Porch is just wide. Tiki Taka says Chick-fil-A closed on Sundays. Sony has lots of chances then. That was a good ball from Sony, but Hollingshead mishit it. Hollingshead, he was looking for Porches, and then Hollingshead got in the way and got on the other side of that, and wasn't a good hit by Hollingshead. Oh, goes out of bounds. Goal kick, Atlanta United. $37 minutes in, still 0-0. Atlanta's doing a good job frustrating them. Goal kick. Hibbert for Atlanta United. Doing pretty solid tonight. I think the goalkeeper Hibbert, 21-year-old for Atlanta's played pretty well. Segura turns it over. He's trying to. God, so sloppy. Good win by Chouanier. Gives it away, but able to win it. Sonny plays it to Denis. Probably not the right move. Denis out wide. Got two on him. Passes it, but it goes out for a LAFC throw in. Police defense says Sony's deliveries are actually underrated. No, they are. I mean, someone told me that he's actually not a scorer. He's a playmaker he's not a scorer who's good at playmaking. He's a playmaker who's good at scoring. Like he's a better playmaker than scorer, even though he's better at both. He's good at both. Kind of agree with that. His technical ability is incredible. Segura to Tafari. Porches. Atlanta's just doing a really good job. Look at their spacing. They're just doing a really good job of closing out the lanes, but they're able to find Denis out wide. Got some space. Oh, good defending. Yeah, Atlanta's done a really good job defensively tonight. They played very organized. They have been good in space. I think for the most part, there's obviously been a couple spots where they had a good chance of scoring LAFC, but I don't think they've been bad in the defense. I don't think they've been bad. This is probably the best performance I've seen. This has been the best performance I've seen from any team playing LAFC since they went on their run of the 15 goals in 4 matches. Corner. Looks like Porches was fouled, maybe? Or did he foul Sleesh? I think he fouled Sleesh. Did he pick him up? Oh, yeah, he definitely pulled Sleesh down. They got the ref cam on right now. It looks funny seeing the ref cam. God, did you see the scratches on his neck? Sleesh has had scratches on his neck. Corner LAFC, Sonny to take it. Passes out to Delgado. Oh, clipped up. Out of bounds for another corner. LAFC. Michael Pelly says, imagine if MLS raised the salary cap by just 4 to 5 million. Almost all the players could be at least TAM level players. Imagine if it was just 20 million. I mean, yeah, I mean, that's obviously less. Oh, my feed keeps freezing for some reason. The stream, the game. Jay Shine says 40 minutes, no goal. What the hell? Yeah, I mean it's been well, that's kind of how it was the last game too, or not the last game, the game before. It was very slow in the beginning. It just takes one though. Still a lot of time left. 41st minute plus there'll be it's the 41st minute. There's 4 minutes left plus added time. Plenty of time. I expect them to make some changes at half. Probably bring in Smolikoff and probably Moran as well. Oh, Hollingshead fouled. Camping says best performance in defending maybe, but 0 shots. Yeah. Denis Bouanga has 3. Sonny has 2. Tafari has 1. Hollingshead has 1. And Sergi Palencia has 1. So LAFC have what, 8 shots so far in the first half? Hugo Lloris out deep. Hibbert's able to get to it though. Schwanier, bad giveaway by Schwanier. Miranchuk. Hernandez. Locke says Atlanta giving a lot of respect to Bouanga and Sony, but with the way they're set up, it could work. Just need one goal from a counter and attack, and it wouldn't and they wouldn't lose this. I just really haven't seen a lot in the midfield. I mean, it hasn't been the worst I've ever seen, but I just haven't seen much in the midfield. I mean, Tillman had that one good pass, which wasn't bad. Delgado is kind of like more of a box to box runner. He's not going to create much. And then Chouanier is a kind of a destroyer as well. I don't think the midfield's been very good so far. Maybe I'm just, not watching it the same way, but I just, they're expecting these two guys, Sony and Denny, to do everything. They just can't do everything all the time. They need help. Palencia, nice. Looking for Sony, but taken away by Atlanta. Gregerson. Hernandez, Miranchuk. Oof. Valencia. Almost the 44th minute plus added time. They have 1 minute plus added time left. 0-0 still. LAFC versus Atlanta United. Oh. Tafar. Is it Segura that had that pass? That was a good look. Wasn't able to. Sony wasn't able to get on the other end of it. I don't think he was expecting it to get to him. Wow. So tonight is Son Heung-min, or excuse me, Denis Bouanga's 100th career appearance for LAFC and MLS play. Oh, good defending. Oh, Delgado got caught watching. Chook. Larice plays it out to Tillman. Tillman to Sony. Lays it off to Delgado. He wasn't expecting it. See, that's another thing too. It's the quality difference. That was a nice, flick to or back heel pass to maybe he was more of a dummy, but either way, 1 minute of ad time, by the way, 1 minute of ad time, the first half. But Delgado just wasn't ready for it. I mean, he's not used to playing with these quality of players, and that's the problem in MLS is that you're not looking for passes like that. You need to be always alert for stuff like that. It doesn't have to be just simple things. You need to be alert. Porteous looking out wide for Hollingshead, but too far. Goes out of bounds for an Atlanta United throw in. Atlanta's expected goals is 0.02. I mean, this has been a defensive game. I mean, they are literally their objective is to make this as difficult as possible on LAFC. Like that has been their objective this game. And that's the first half whistle. 0-0. LAFC versus Atlanta. It's the first time in the 4-game run that Atlanta or the LAFC hasn't scored. First time in the last 5 matches that LAFC hasn't been able to score in the first half. 0-0. I think that was a pretty disappointing first half. And we want to get your guys' opinion on what you think of the first half. We always do our 1 through 10 grading scale on what you think of the first half, 1 being terrible, 10 being perfect. What would you rate the first half by LAFC? Let me know down below. But also, before you do that, make sure you give the stream a like down below. We are 27 likes away from 100. Let's try to hit 100 likes. So smash the like button. Also, share with a friend if you haven't already. Let's try to grow the audience as much as we can. And also, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. This is the fastest growing and the biggest MLS channel that there is, thanks to you guys. So make sure you subscribe for all the latest MLS content, LAFC watch-alongs, Inter Miami watch-alongs. We do all the watch-alongs. You don't want to miss that. So hit the little bell notification too, so you never miss any of those. Mason says he's a 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10 on the first half performance by LAFC. 1 out of 10 after the first half performance by LAFC against Atlanta United. Camping says 4 a.m. on a Monday here in Poland. Time for bed. We'll catch the replay. Sorry, Camping, about the lack of goals, but hopefully you wake up to something. Hopefully you wake up to something nice. Jay Shawnee says, can you collab with Deadball TV? You'd have to ask them about that. Jay. Maybe. Steve says, definitely a 10 out of 10. Very promising game, just as promising as Popeye's chicken. Yeah. Harry says the 4.5 need Moran on. D1% says we need a midfielder. Yeah, the midfield has had no creativity in the first half. No creativity in the first half. And this is one of the issues we've seen. I'm not a big fan of Schwanier, Delgado, and Tillman. I don't think they can all play with each other. It has to be Tillman or Delgado, and then Moran has to play also in the midfield. I just don't think this works the way it is. Yeah, I know. God, what's his name? Albert. Yeah, Albert. I've talked with Albert before. He's cool. Mr. says 5 had the better of the players, just haven't broken Atlanta down yet. Yeah, so I would probably go like a 4. I do think the defending has been pretty good for LAFC, but they really haven't been challenged too much, honestly, because they haven't been challenged too much because Atlanta really hasn't had a lot of shot opportunities. I think they have maybe one they said or something like that. Maybe let's look at the first half stats. and just see how many shot attempts that Atlanta United have had in that first half. So Atlanta United only had one shot in the first half, 0.02 goals expected. Possession, they did win 52-48, but it feels like that Atlanta came in here to be a spoiler and that they just want to make sure that LAFC don't score, and they want to keep it keep them from getting a result. Keep them. I mean, if they get a draw, they still get a result. But 3 points. LAFC desperately need 3 points if they want to finish first in the Western Conference. So it feels like they're playing spoiler. It feels like they're playing defensive oriented ball, and LAFC's defense hasn't been bad. The midfield has been terrible. They haven't been nearly as good as they need to be. And it's put a lot of pressure on Son Heung-min and Denis Bouanga because they're having to play deeper to come for the ball and kind of start the attack. And we know that that's not what they're best at. That's not when this attack is at its best. Now, having said that, I do think that LAFC has exposed some cracks in the Atlanta United defense. And I think it's inevitable when they score. I think it is inevitable that LAFC will be able to score on this Atlanta United team. But I do expect they need to make some changes. They definitely need to make some changes at halftime if they want to score in this match. And they desperately need to. Tony says, will LAFC win this game? We'll talk about that in just a second. We'll get to that. Rhino says, we have to give Atlanta credit. They were well prepared defensively. They need to make some tactical changes in the second half and gain more control in the midfield. Yeah, Moran needs to be needs to start the second half. He needs to be out there. Jay Shawnee says, Albert has 100 ball knowledge. Yeah, Albert's a nice guy. Very nice guy. Angus says, has to be a 5. Nothing has really happened. It's been 100%. Morning Calm, Rising Sun says 8 shots. We also had the corners. That's true. Bobby says, who do you think are the top 4 favorites to win MLS Cup? 2 from the West, 2 from the East. Let me think about that. Let me think about that a little bit. Jay Shawnee says, teams have a game plan for Swanga. Won't be easy to score next season. No, I think it will. The coaching's not very good for LAFC. Mr. says, breaking down a low block isn't easy. It's not. It definitely is not easy to break down a low block. And especially, like I said, I think that Atlanta really came in here to be a spoiler. I don't think that they're really trying for any crazy result. I think they're just here to be a spoiler. Steve says breaking down a low block isn't easy. That's what Mr. said. D1% says Atlanta United D looks so much better. Yeah, I mean they definitely look good in the first half, but that's what they're trying to do. They've done a real good job of marking, clogging up lanes, and they played very organized in their low block. Very organized. Now, let's talk about predictions, and then we can talk about what they need to do this, okay? So, Atlanta United, LAFC, 0-0 first half. Who do you think is going to win this match, and what do you think the final score is going to be? Now, a lot of us were very optimistic in the first half, thinking that they, at the beginning of the game, that LAFC were going to be able to win this game like they've won the last couple games in scoring fashion, 3, 4, 5 goals. Hell, I thought maybe they could even score 6 tonight. Maybe, Atlanta United really don't have much to play for at this point. They've been eliminated from the playoffs, so there's not a lot to play for. But what do you guys think the score is going to be? Is LAFC still going to win? They desperately need the points if they want to finish the top of the Western Conference. They get a draw, essentially that dream has pretty much ended, I would say. It's not completely done, but it would be very hard at that point if they don't get the result tonight. Mr. says he thinks it's going to be 2-0 LAFC. Tiki Taka says LAFC 1, Atlanta United 0, I guess, or nil. Angus says 2-0 LAFC. Marza says 3-0. I'm assuming you think LAFC. Tony says 1-0 or 2-0 LAFC. I mean, they're going to have to make some changes if they want to do that, but I think it's definitely possible. D1% says LA 1, Atlanta United 0. I think that I want to say that it's going to be 3-0 now is what I would guess. I would say it'd be 3-0, But in order to do that, they have to make some changes at the half. And there's two changes I would make. Two changes I would make at the half. If it were me, I would bring off Tillman. And Tillman has statistically, well, him and Delgado have been two of the worst players on the pitch in the first half. They've been really bad. They've been bad. They just haven't been good. Tillman, I just don't think fits really anymore with what they're trying to do. He's kind of the odd man out. Okay. So if it were me, I would take Tillman out and bring Moran in the second half, right out of the gate. Moran in, Tillman out. And then Hollingshead is consistent, but he really hasn't brought anything dynamic in the attack for this team. And I think they need a little bit more speed. So I would bring Smoliakov in the second half. I would make those two changes. Bring in Smoliakov, bring in Moran in the second half, and then see what happens. This midfield has just not created any chances, been very disappointing, and they've just been failing their attack. Now, like we talked about, Atlanta is playing a low block. They are playing defensive oriented. They are, frustrating LAFC pretty well so far in this game. They need to do something a little different, a little more class, a little more quality on the pitch. That's how you do it. Now, if they don't make these changes, I think there's a chance LAFC might only win 1-0, or maybe it is a 0-0 draw. I just think that they have to take either Delgado and Tillman out. They play the same way. They can't both be on the pitch. Mr. says, like you said, you can only play one, Tillman or Delgado. They just don't bring enough in the attack. They need Delgado and Chouanier and Tillman are kind of the same player, and they need something a little different, a little more pace, a little more creativity, and that's Moran. That's Moran. So, that's what they need to do, and hopefully they make that change if they want to win this game. And Smoliakov, we talked about that earlier, Mr. about Smoliakov being a little bit more of a wild card, inconsistent, but I think at this point they need a little bit to roll the dice a little bit and maybe bring him in and see if he can give them a little bit more juice or a dynamic in the attack, the final third that Hollingshead hasn't really brought this game. And he's got a little bit of pace, which I think could help them out as well. Tony Bowman says halftime team talk motivation. D1% says, why can't they get the ball to Sonny? Because the midfield just isn't very good. I just don't think this midfield of Delgado, like I said, Tillman and Chouanier, there's too much of the same in the midfield. They need to have something a little bit different. So we'll see if they can do that. We'll see if they can. We'll see if that changes things up. If they can bring Moran in the second half, I don't know if they're going to do that. I can't tell you if they're going to do that, but that's what they need to do. Steve says, I see you're using FOTMob Popeyes instead of Apple Sports. Is it better? Popeyes. Yeah, I mean, it's okay, I guess. It's not bad. Let's see. Duke says, who do you think will win? I mean, I think LAFC have a good chance if they can make a couple adjustments. Andrew says, I think Atlanta's got a shot. I mean, they definitely have a shot. We'll see what happens. Adjustments have to be made. Tiki Taka says, a better off the ball movement on the pitch. I want to see that. Yeah, they definitely need to have better. There was a lot of guys just standing around. That's been a common theme. A lot of guys, when Sonny or Denny have the ball, they kind of just watch them. They don't make any movement. And I think that's what makes a good footballer. It's not necessarily how you play with the ball. How are you playing without the ball? What are your movements? What is your vision? Where are you going? Like that right there, I think defines and can speaks to how good and what your ball knowledge is. Soccer Daddy says Atlanta 1, LAFC 0. LAFC not facing Salt Lake today. Well, I mean, Atlanta United's honestly worse than RSL. Mr. says, I think Moran for Tillman is the move. Moran gives you a bit more cunning in the midfield. Yeah, he's got pace, creativity, dynamic. He's just dynamic, right? But here's the thing. Dolo's so dumb, he might put David Martinez in there for Tillman, which would be a huge mistake. But yeah, they definitely need to put. They need to have Moran playing right behind Denis Bouanga and Sonny. Steve says, what if instead of Popeyes, it was okay? I gotcha. Interesting. But we have to give credit to Atlanta. Like I said, I mean, if Atlanta did win tonight, that would be a huge upset. That would be a huge upset. And we'll talk about what Atlanta United or LAFC's chances of finishing the first place. We're doing our post game recap with Nick Chastain, the voice in black and gold. We always do that. Every LAFC game, we do a post game recap and match analysis. Me and him will be doing that right after this game. Talk about what happens, see if LAFC are able to rebound, or if they're not, we'll break it down and tell you guys what went right and what went wrong. Looks like the second half is about to kick off. Full moon too. Tiki Taka says soccer daddy LAFC 1-0. I am soccer mama. Soccer Daddy says bottom Eastern Conference team, bottom Western Conference team. Fact. Yeah, but they're not a bottom Western Conference team, though. You're talking about RSL. I got you, RSL. Yeah, but Atlanta's really bad. Trust says, yeah, full moon. Is that going to be good luck, maybe? Second half's about to kick off. My prediction's 3-0 LAFC. If they can make these changes, we'll see if they did make any changes. We'll see if they did make any changes in a second. Maybe they didn't because, he's not a very... Well, it looks like Tillman's still on the pitch. Chouinier's still on the pitch. So it's not looking good. Not looking good for LAFC to make any changes so far. Not looking so good so far. Atlanta's got the ball first. Tiki Taka says full moon is Chuseok in Korea. Sony will have a full soccer moon tonight. Javier says, "What's the best way to watch the game with this watch along? Do I just mute Taylor Twellman? Yeah, just mute Taylor Twellman. I don't think they're that good anyways. Jake Zevin and Taylor Twellman. That's just my opinion. Not bad guys, but Twellman's not bad at commentating the game. But I'm not a big fan of Jake Zevin. Very concerning that they didn't make any changes, though. Very concerning. Red flag for LAFC. We'll see what happens, though. Beautiful night, though. It says it was 68 degrees Celsius in LA tonight. Perfect playing weather. Javier, Xavier says, okay, but Will, if someone scores, you have to scream goal. I will. I always do. Looking for Sony? Oh, I don't think he was expecting it. Good win by LAFC. Delgado. Bad pass to Sony. Bad pass to him. Atlanta's able to get possession back. Michael Pelly says, here's how crazy MLS is. The last place team 30th is locked for the Champions Cup. Not sure if that's parody or absurdity. I call it forced mediocrity. That is good though. Parody versus absurdity. Steve says, what's the temperature in Fahrenheit? Like 20, I think. Tiki Taka says, I like Telemundo. Goal. Yeah, shout. I normally do scream. Every time there's a goal, I normally do scream. On watch longs, I normally do. Unless it's the opposing team that I'm not a fan of. If I'm watching the USMNT or... Which I really don't do watch longs for the USMNT. So I normally do scream when there's a goal. Normally. Porches to Palencia. Looking like more of the same so far in the second half to first 2 minutes. Looking like LAFC just running out the same game plan. This is by the way, if you guys, anyone who's new to LAFC, if you're like, yeah, keep Dolo, this is why most people who are fans of LAFC don't want to keep Dolo. He's not a good tactician. 68 degrees Celsius is 150 degree Fahrenheit. Oh, is that okay? Did I get it mixed up? Yeah, so 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Sorry, 20 degrees Celsius. My bad. Looking for Denny, say by Hibbert. Soccer Daddy says Bouanga doesn't score today, missed 2 games for the national duty decision. The game left for him. Messi golden boot with 1 goal advantage. If he doesn't score tonight, I think it definitely is likely Messi will probably win the golden boot. Pleacher Fan says, how long do we have to watch a 2 versus 4 in the midfield? Not good. They're pressing too. Atlanta. Hugo Lloris, a little too much shot. It goes out of bounds for an Atlanta throw in. I'm not really sure. I just don't understand why Dolo wanted to rotate some guys. It worked last game. I mean, a lot of these guys started. I don't know why he didn't want Miranda, unless he picked up a knock. I don't know why he didn't want him to play. Not really sure why he didn't want him to play. Borges looking for Sony. Taken away by Gregerson. Oh, Denny wins it. Denny. Oh, good defending by Gregerson. Mr. Mister says Dolo needs to be more adventurous. He's very boring. Oh, Marinchuk out wide to Hernandez. Hernandez with the cross. Lacha says, just lost control at the wrong time. Yeah. Gregerson has been good tonight for Atlanta. Oh, Sony. Sony. Oh, good defending. Gregerson has done a really good job tonight on Son Heung-min. Soccer Daddy says Sunday Night Soccer with the two worst coaches. No, Javier Mascherano's not coaching tonight. Xavier says, how wild would it be if Messi and Surridge compete for the Golden Boot in the last game of the season? I think there could be a lot of people competing for the Golden Boot in the last game of the season. Tiki Taka says Messi is just not in a human level, but MLS made him a human. Golden Boot to Bouanga twice already. Palencia. Michael Pelly says, imagine if Surridge wins the Golden Boot because Messi and Bouanga missed games on national duty. That would be a shame. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely not. Sam Surridge is definitely not getting a call up to the English national team. So that is true. That is true. He's not that level. So, it's just sad players have to miss because they're national duty. God, Tillman has played so bad. He had the one pass and he's not been good tonight. I just think Tillman's very overrated. Soccer Day says Ronnie Dyla and Dolo. And Mascherano. Mascherano is pretty bad. Lee Construction says maybe Moran is injured. If not, I will be upset with Dolo. I don't think he is injured. He's on the bench right now, so I don't think he's injured. I don't know when he would have been injured. He played the last game, so I don't know when he would have been injured. Rhino says the gap between LAFC's defense and midfield is too wide, and there's a shortage of players in the midfield. Well, it's not just the shortage of players in the midfield. It's just they're not doing anything. There's a lot of standing, and there's no creativity or spark in the middle. Sony's taking the corner for LAFC. They need to make some changes probably in the 60th minute. I'm very surprised there were no changes early on. by LAFC. Sonny. Hibbert hits it. Palencia wins it back. Goes out of bounds. Whose ball was it? Looked like it was last off of Palencia, but was it a foul? Okay, I guess they called it a foul on Atlanta. Chouanier. Porches to Denis. Palencia to Porches. To Tafari. Tillman. To Palencia. Oh, Palencia, bad pass. Too weak looking for Chouanier. They read it. Atlanta United ran it perfectly. Chouanier fouled. Sleesh. No, Miranchuk. He fouled. Miranchuk got a yellow card. Not good enough, guys. Not good enough. Please your fan says, I want to see 2 versus 1 on the wing if there's no central progression. Yeah, they're not playing out wide very much. The couple times they did play it out wide, they played it out wide. They had a little bit of success when Denny had it, but then he made a bad decision and they did a really good job defensively. Atlanta's done a good job defensively one-on-one tonight. I'll say that. Gregerson has been the star of the show for me on the Atlanta United back line. He's even moving up a little bit too. I think Atlanta could snatch and grab this famous 1-0 win incoming. They could. Michael Pelly says Atlanta United has been the most disappointing team this season. With the money they spent on players they have, coach and or team management must be a mess there. It hasn't been a good season. Xavier says, what the hell happened to Almiron? Hasn't scored an open play since May. He's been disappointing, but the team's been disappointing. It's been an unmitigated disaster for Atlanta United in 2025. It's been terrible. A lot of issues with this team. God, the team, honestly, too, I feel like LAFC are not playing with any energy, too. They're just, look at all the standing. Look at all the standing. Look at Palencia wide on the right side, wide open. Unless there's someone I'm missing. I don't think there is, though. Could be, though. Good pass to Bouanga. Plays it off to Tillman. Bad pass by Tillman. Palencia able to win it back. Oh! What a save. Hibbert with a beautiful save. Wow. Palencia with a beautiful pass. Great save by Hibbert. Great save by Hibbert. This kid's been special tonight. Now, don't get me wrong. The defense has really helped him out. But my God, what incredible saves he's had. Hibbert, 21-year-old goalkeepers, looked very good. Probably the heir to Brad Guzan. Sonny, save by Hibbert. Hibbert's been very good tonight for Atlanta United. Let's watch the replay on this. Great left-handed save by Hibbert. Great save. Angus says, my guess is Guzan is not back in Atlanta United next year. Now, I think what's going to happen with him is he's going to retire, and then he's going to end up working for probably MLS season pass as a commentator. I think Guzan would be good in the booth. Honorary doctorate to Dr. Hibbert, Simpsons character origin story. Sleesh, right into the Reese's hands. Almost the 58th minute. Still not much from LAFC, really. I mean, outside of that last cross from Palencia where Chouanier almost came on the other side of it, but they really need to do something in the second half. They need to make some changes. And it would be a shame for LAFC to have a bad performance against a team who has, like they said, only won one of their last 15 matches on the road. One of their last 15 matches on the road. Miranchuk. Miguel Almiron. God, this team just has no energy right now. If they had any bit of attack, LAFC, I think, would be in trouble. Will, who is your non-favorite player in MLS? Who that you love to hate watch? Who do I hate in MLS? I don't know if I really hate any players in MLS. Oh, looking for Sony. Heads it down, looking for Denis. Taken away back by Atlanta. Chouanier to Tafari. They need to make a substitution. I know I've said that a couple times, but I don't know what the hell he's waiting for. I don't know what Dolo's. I mean, this obviously isn't working for him. No changes, 60th minute. Don't really know what his plan is. Oh, that was a flop. Come on. He barely touched him. Looked like a flop to me. Xavier says easy La Tortuga. Yeah, I mean that definitely could be up there. Yeah, I definitely it's hard to watch him right now, but I wouldn't say I hate watch him. I wouldn't say I hate watch Luis Suarez. Sony to Denis Bouanga. Palencia. Oh, nice. Out wide to Hollingshead. Oh, Hollingshead looked like he was brought down. No call. Sleesh. Deflects off of Atlanta United player back to LAFC Chouanier. Ulea says they keep playing the ball backwards too much. It's way too passive when he is going to make some changes. I don't know. I agree with you. They're playing way too conservative. Oh my God. That was almost a bad pass by Delgado. Foul by Tillman. Not good enough so far, guys. Not good enough so far. 0-0. Yeah, scoreline. It's looking likely. Looked like Hollingshead might have gotten fouled. I don't know. Did he fall down? I can't tell. Obvious calling, controlling MLS. Good pass from Almiron. Miranchuk. Christian Salvador says this doesn't make any sense. Seriously, LAFC can't score a goal against the last team in the league. D1% says LA is playing in like high school. Look, this is what I say about Dolo. He sucks. He's not a good coach. We know this. And we've seen what he's done, and all of us know what they need to do, some changes they need to make, and they haven't made it. 62nd minute, no changes. Attack is not working. A team that scored 15 goals in the last 4 matches, and it's just not working. Delgado looking for Denis. Good pass. Good pass. Oh my. Denis. Sony was wide open. Held the ball way too long. Way too long. Denis took way too many touches. Way too long. Look at that. Look at him. He's wide open. Denis has played terrible tonight, in my opinion. I don't think he's been very good. I don't think Denis has been. I think he's been very sloppy tonight. Nice sliding block there. Probably was Gregerson again. I didn't see Sony with the cross. Oh! Hollingshead just wide right. God, Dolo sucks so bad. Michael Pelly says, makes sense. Mafia was already in LA to fix Penn State game, so they're back seconds for this game. Locke says, getting close now. Hollingshead very nearly opened the scoring. He did, but he's just not. He's struggled tonight. Oh, Hollingshead's coming off. Smolякov is coming on. Who's the other change? Is it Moran? Smolякov, which is a change I would have made. I said this earlier in the end of the first half. And Moran's coming on for Chouanier, which is a little weird. I wouldn't have taken out Chouanier. I would have probably kept on. I would have kept on Delgado and Chouanier and taken out Tillman. But hey, the two players I would have brought in, Smolякov and Moran, are both on. Or Morin is, I guess, is the way that Jake Zevin pronounced it. Morin. We'll see if this makes a difference. If this does make a difference, then this is going to tell us that this is what they should have ran to begin with the game. Like, this is what they should have done from the start. Yeah, Morin is good. I'm a big fan of Morin. Almiron. Oh, good defending by Tafari. Tafari passes it back to Delgado. Passes out wide. Morin. Oh, Morin almost trips. Loses the ball. Turbo says, hey, man, I just got here. Sounds like Tillman is playing poorly. Chances on a 0-0 tie here. I mean, probably pretty good at the moment. Chris Cho says, good changes. Fine. And Ulea says, finally. Yeah, this is what we thought should have happened. Soccer Day says, LAFC last 15 goals came against a bunch of Crook West teams, and wait until LAFC face Vancouver and Seattle. Well, I mean, if Dolo plays a bad lineup, then yeah, they're not going to be able to score. But if they Morin starts, then I think they got a chance. D1% says, when Bouanga has the ball, all he can see is the goal. Can't see anything else. Let's admit it. He is a good, selfish player. He can be selfish. He can also be bad with the ball sometimes, though. Sometimes he just gets a little bit of what I would call tunnel vision, where he just kind of sees this. Like, he doesn't see left or right. He just sees, like, what's in front of him, which, like you said, is goal. But Sony has to not feed him as much too. It doesn't matter if he wins the Golden Boot. They just need to focus on who has the best chance of scoring. Michael Pelly says there's also a chance for a 0-0 draw with Dola ball. 100%. Porches plays it to Morin. Morin, great. Little weak of a pass to Bouanga, but you could already see the difference Morin's made. Delgado passes it to Tillman. Smolякov back to Tillman. Tillman has been so bad. Segura with the ball. Look a little better so far with the changes, but Sony's playing very deep right now. Very, very deep. Turbo says, what do you say to people who say Tillman is overrated? He is overrated. I don't think he's very good. I think they played well without him. I don't know why he got to start tonight, but I don't think he should. I don't think he should. I don't think rate him very highly. Delgado, Palencia, Palencia back to Delgado, to Morin. You could just see that Morin is just a different quality, man. When he touches the ball, he just has a lot more technical ability. Ooh, Delgado too much, but it's gonna be a corner. Soccer Day says he is overrated and a terrible player. I wouldn't say he's terrible, but I definitely think he's overrated. I don't think he's very. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. Lost me for a second. There we go. Sorry about that. I actually hit the back button. Is more an American? No, he's Irish. Michael Pelly says, I like both Sonny and Mueller have been, and I like how both Sonny and Mueller have been embracing U.S. and Canadian culture. Yeah, I do like that too. Forchis, the header, LAFC win the ball. Bad giveaway by Delgado. Almiron passes it to Amarer. They need a goal. Schleich. Oof. Oh! Smolikov just has to get rid of it. Clears it out for a Atlanta United throw in. Woo! Schleich was close. A deflection off Tafari, I think. Oh, that would have been bad. That would have been a bad way to end it. Keyshawn says the team that makes no big transfers in Philly wins the Supporter Shield, while Atlanta is in the mud. Yeah, but that shouldn't mean you don't spend. It just means you have to spend wisely. But I bet you this: I don't think Philadelphia is going to win MLS Cup. I don't think they're going to win. Michael Pelly says I think they might be even better spokesman for the league than Messi. Maybe so. Maybe so. Angus says the post saved LAFC's goal, saved LAFC's goalkeeper for sure. 71st minute, guys, 0-0 still. Not a very lively game so far. Disappointing. We'll see if they can, find a goal in the last 19 minutes plus added time. But there probably won't be a lot of added time because there hasn't been a lot of time wasted. We'll see. We'll see. Tillman with the turn. Finds Delgado. Little space. Out wide to Palencia. To Morin. Bad pass by Palencia. Too much on it. Morin, he almost won it back, but it goes out for Atlanta United throw in. Atlanta's making changes. Latte Lots coming in. Miyumba's coming in too for Miranchuk. Now, Latte Lot's very fast. They're going to have to, he's very underwhelming, Latte Lot, but you have to keep an eye on him. He's got a lot of pace. Very, very pacey striker for Atlanta United. Well, they're going to have to keep an eye on him. LAFC are going to have to keep an eye on Latte Lot. Xavier says, can Atlanta get rid of Cafe Latte next season? Who will pay that transfer fee? I honestly think that they would just probably loan him out to get rid of him, honestly. Rhino says Hugo Lloris is too slow to react to a breaking ball. He definitely doesn't have the reflexes he did a couple of years ago, even. Morin to Palencia, Porchis, Delgado. Tafari. Atlanta's just done such a good job at frustrating and taking away any chances that LAFC have. I mean, Atlanta have .07 expected goals. .07. LAFC have 2. Palencia. Bad pass. Palencia's been bad tonight too. Palencia's had a lot of bad passes. A lot of bad passes by Palencia. Palencia has definitely struggled tonight. Maybe he's trying to do too much. Middlesbrough started doing very well the moment Latte Lot left. Atlanta overpaid, in my opinion. Of course, they did. D1 percentage says, I have a strange feeling it's going to be 1-0 Atlanta. I mean, it could be. This is a bad performance by LAFC tonight. Very bad performance. Ooh, good work rate by Morin. Morin is just he's like a little engine, man. He's like the little engine. Porches. Looking for Tillman. Morin. The pass is offside to Denis Bouanga. Michael Pelly says Hugo Lloris still brings a calming presence for the defense, though, because of his experience. He does. I mean, he's a World Cup winning goalkeeper. Who wouldn't take that? Who wouldn't take that? $15 minutes left plus added time. 0-0 LAFC versus Atlanta. Palencia wins the ball. Gives it away, though. They're just playing keep away. I think Atlanta is perfectly cool with this game ending 0-0. I told you guys they're playing spoiler. Ulea says, man, way too passive. Such a boring game. Yeah, I agree with that. They are definitely playing the ball back a lot, and they are playing very, 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 very defensive. Keep away ball. They're playing keep away ball. God, Palencia, this looks terrible tonight. Madden says, I think that LAFC will hit after 90 plus. Clip says, should I cash out? I had LAFC money line. Michael Pelly says, do you think Hugo stays another year? Possibly. Possibly. Depends, I think, what they're willing to pay him. That was a terrible pass by Segura. Hit Delgado in the head. Uyamba. Christian Salvador says, with a .07 expected goals, Atlanta will win. Remember that. Turble says Palencia looks bad. He has looked bad tonight. He has looked bad. Tillman and him have looked bad tonight. The midfield's been bad. Palencia's been bad. Hollingshead wasn't very good. God, they've looked terrible. Uyamba. Alzate to Miyamba. Rhino says no one in the midfield is passing the ball forward, and the defenders are just passing it backwards. They are. They have no. They're not creating any chances. Any build-up plays. The build-up play's been bad. Tillman wins it. Ulea says, Denis, Palencia, Tillman, and Delgado all look bad tonight. Yeah, Denis has not been good either. We'll have to clear it out, Atlanta United. Oh, man. LAFC just doesn't run as much as Atlanta. Where were they out clubbing last night. I mean, they definitely have not had the energy tonight that we've seen in previous games. They have not had the energy we've seen in previous matches. By the way, guys, if you haven't already, make sure you like the stream down below. We're 8 likes away from 100. Saba's coming in for Atlanta. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Best MLS content there is. We cover LAFC, Inter Miami, every MLS team. You don't want to miss anything. Also, hit the little bell notification so you never miss any of my videos. And we will be going live after this game with Nick Chastain of the Voices of Black and Gold to break down this game that looks like it's going to be a disappointing draw by LAFC. We're going to break it all down in the post-game recap. So make sure you hit the little bell notification so you don't miss that live stream when it starts. But it's not looking good so far. It's not looking good so far for LAFC. Xavier says LAFC lost 4 games. Our last 4 games were scrubs. WinX says LAFC's fullbacks on both sides aren't getting forward. Dumping everything through the middle is killing their attack. It is. Harry says Atlanta taking off the bestie. Interesting. Oh, Gregerson? Yeah, Gregerson did get taken out. That is interesting. Michael Pelly says, I'm worried for Nick's mental health after this game. We'll have to see what he says. We'll have to see. I mean, at the last 4 streams that we've done post-game, it's all been positive, right? So we'll see what his feelings are after this game. Probably not going to be good. Soccer Daddy says Almiron outperformed Sony. I don't know about that. I don't think the midfield is good, really. I mean, Atlanta only have like 1 shot this game, maybe even 2. I will say Ronnie Dyla did outclass Steve Shrundler, but we'll talk about that in the post game. We'll just see what happens. Still some time left. Delgado finds Smoliakov. Smoliakov to Tillman. Back to Smoliakov. Morin. Morin. Oh, Morin. And like it says, the last 17 goals were scored by Bouanga and Sony. There's just no one else on this team who can score. I think that's one thing that LAFC are going to have to target in the offseason. They're going to need to revamp. But first, they need to figure out who the manager is going to be of this team in 2026. But when they get the new manager, they need to figure out what system they want to play. And they need to try to get some creativity regardless of who it is in the midfield, other than Morin. They need to get someone else who's better. And they have a DP spot. They can get a really good quality player. Palencia. Oh my God. Tillman. Oh my God. Palencia with a beautiful pass to Tillman. He just missed it. I mean, he missed it. Tillman has been so bad. So bad. Worst player tonight, probably. I mean, Tillman's got a big enough head to have to get a nice header, right? If Bobasay's coming on for Segura, so they're going to do a front 3. The front 3 doesn't work. Why is Dolo doing a front 3? The front 3 never works. They got Sony on the left side and Bobasay in the middle, are playing striker, and Denis Bouanga play on the right side. God, oh man, Bobasay is terrible. Oh, good pass from Sony to Denis. Denis had Bobasay wide open. He didn't pass it to him. Sony over the top to Denis. Oh my God, Bouanga. Oh my God. Oh man. Yeah, he was offside. Bobase was wide open. And Denny keeps his head down way too much. Way too much. He's never looking up. My God. Oh my God. They're picking him apart. Jeez. Oh my God. Jeez. Look, okay, the attack is definitely better now with the 4-3-3, but you can just see how vulnerable LAFC are in the back line without the five. I mean, look at this. They're just picking up. They look like prime Barca right now. Now, Latte was offside, but just look at the pace. Keyshawn says Will sounds like an LAFC fan. I mean, I don't care. I don't really care if how far they go. I mean, but obviously, I want the game to be exciting. Atlanta's not scoring. Atlanta's not going to score. And plus, why Atlanta United? They're not even going to make the playoffs. Porches. 85 minutes left. Smolikov. Stay by Hibbert. Hibbert's been a really good player tonight. I would say Hibbert's probably Hibbert and Gregerson are been the two players of the match for me tonight. The two players of the match for me tonight. All right, let's see what happens. Delgado. Oh, Bouanga scores. Is it onside? Oh, the front flip. Bouanga now ties Messi. He ties Messi. Denis Bouanga has tied Messi for the Golden Boot race. 24 goals or 24th goal of the season for Denis Bouanga. Was he offside though? Was he offside? Whew. They needed that if they want to finish first place in the Western Conference. They needed that. Yep. Yeah, he's definitely onside. LAFC to escape a draw. They keep winning. $18 goals in the last 5 matches between Denis Bouanga and Son Heung-min. Goal stands, 1-0 win. Able to escape. Well, there you go. I'm getting the post game ready. By the way, post game starts right after this. Post game. Oh, Denny. Ooh, that was close. That was close. Able. Hey, a win's a win. Yeah, that is close. Special Cook says, "What's so bad of Sony's team winning?" I mean, I don't. I mean, yeah, it took. It's crazy. It did take 86 minutes to score. Yeah, Denis Bouanga now tied with Messi. Oh, Denny. Oh my god. Oh my god. What the hell was that pass from Denis? Oh my god. Oh. Whew. 4 minutes of added time. Whew. Oh. Oh. Two and a half minutes left of added time. Does Atlanta have it in them to score? I mean, LAFC looked a lot better since they changed up formations. Just a lot of questions of why it took so long to do this. Rob says, "What happens to Golden Boot race if they both tied? Who wins?" So if they are tied, then it goes to whoever has the most assists, whoever has the most goal contributions. That's how they decide the tiebreaker. That's how they decide the um Oh, Denis. Yeah, Sleesh is definitely getting yellow. Yeah, he did look pissed at Sleesh. Oh God, he did. Wow, did he look? He did look like he was about to punch Sleesh. Did you see him? Did you see him pull his fist back? That is crazy. Whoo, man! If they escape with this, this was a great comeback by LAFC. Great comeback by LAFC. Well, I guess you can't call it a comeback because it was tied. But there you go. Final time. LAFC beat Atlanta United 1-0. Crazy game, crazy finish. They're able to get the points. We'll be ending the stream. We're going to be going live immediately after this is done. Nick will be joining me from the Voice of Black and Gold. So we already got that created. Make sure you join us over there for the post-game recap. I will see you guys very soon. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. See you guys over for the post-game recap, which is starting right after this. Thank you guys for watching the live watch along.